Booktube, I'm back. Sorry for the absence of me making videos. I think, like a lot of people, my mind has been elsewhere with everything that's been going on, but I'm hoping to get back into the swing of things, and to start that off, I'm going to be doing a video on what I thought of the Booktube Prize books that I was judging for the first round. I was chosen to do the nonfiction Group F. And so I'm going to go in order of my least favorite to my favorite. And to start this off, I'm going to say that the books that I was chosen to judge, I think they're all really, really good, except for one of them I didn't like. I think they're all really strong contenders, and I had a really hard time ranking them. But so my least favorite was Oliver Sacks' Everything in Its Place, First Loves and Last Tales. And this is a collection of essays by Oliver Sacks, and he's written several books, but I've never picked up anything by him before. But it didn't have a straight narrative at all. It was all over the place. It had like neurobiology in there, but there was talks about how ramblings really on what he thought of ebooks and like the publishing industry and just all sorts of things. It just wasn't very cohesive, and I didn't really care for it. But I know Oliver Sacks has written, I mean, at least from what I was looking from his collection, it looked like there were some good books in there. So, I mean, I wouldn't write them off completely, but this for sure was the weakest book of the group. And then I put in, I hate putting, even like the fourth and fifth place, like all these books were really good. There was nothing bad about any of them. It's just, I think, like, with nonfiction, these were all like, different. They were like literary fiction. They're all like, that genre. But for these, I mean, there's a lot of genres within nonfiction. So I think really it comes down to like a personal taste. I don't know for nonfiction. But fifth place for me was How We Fight for Our Lives, a memoir by Saeed Jones. And this one is about a man who he grew up in Texas. And it's all about his journey of living in the experience of being a black man from the South and being gay. And so a lot of this had to do with his adolescent years and his conflicts with his family members, and especially his family who was living in, I think it was Tennessee. They were very into going to church, and he didn't live their lifestyle, and so there was a lot of contention there. And his mother was a practicing Muslim, and so the grandmother just wrote her off completely. And yeah, that was really interesting. So yeah, he's lived a very interesting life, and he has a lot to say about that. So yeah, it was a real well-written memoir. It's just how I rank them. I mean, yeah, I would highly recommend this, even though it came in fifth place. But yeah, I just like the other topics that were discussed in the other books more than this one. In fourth place is Midnight in Chernobyl, The Untold Story of the World's Greatest Nuclear Disaster by Adam Higginbotham. And I've read one other like full-length history of the Chernobyl. And of course, I can't think of the title now. I can look it up real quick. But yeah, that one had a lot more facts than this one. This one, I think this one was more probably approachable for people who don't know anything about Chernobyl. I mean, I think it had like more of like a narrative way of talking about Chernobyl. But I think everything was discussed in this was discussed better in the more factual based, maybe a little more dry other book that I've read. But yeah, this was very good. I mean, it followed some of the like characters, some of the people who were in the at the site, and like what they went through, and then what their after effects were. And so yeah, this was just very good. It's just I like the other one better. So yeah, there's that. Then in third place, and so for the top three are the ones that really mattered, because the top three are the ones that are going to be moved on into the next for round two. And so like my top three picks with everyone else in my group are the ones more likely that they were pushed through. And so this one, for third place, is Say Nothing, A True Story of Murder and Memory in Northern Ireland by Patrick Radden Keefe. And this is one, I tried to listen to this on audio at first, and it was too good. The narrator was too good. I was just getting lost and listening to his Irish accent over actually what was being talked about in the book. So I had to stop that and start all over again with the ebook. So I thought that was kind of funny. But I mean, yeah, if you want a good audiobook, I bet this would be up a lot of people's alleys, because yeah, the narration was fantastic. And this is all about the Irish troubles in Northern Ireland, and yeah, like it really like puts you in the head of some of the people who were not good people who went to jail, and so yeah, you start kind of like caring for them in a way, just how he presented the story, and you follow them from like from when it was like starting to ramp up all the way through what's kind of like what's happening now. And so yeah, this was a very very good book, and I knew really nothing about the Irish Troubles prior to this book, and so I didn't realize it happened so recently. Like, yeah, it was completely like a foreign topic for me. And so yeah, I learned a lot. And then in second place is The Heartbeat. I keep saying Heartbreak. The Heartbeat of Wounded Knee by David Truer, and it says Indian America from 1890 to the present. And this author starts off talking about how Wounded Knee, a lot of people in the history of Native Americans there, but this book really pushes the idea that Native American culture and tribes are still present, and they're still growing and adapting, and still can be a huge part of Native Americans' lives. And so David Truer grew up on a reservation, and then he left, and he talked about how when he was in college, how he decided he was leaving that reservation, and he's like going on to be successful compared to what his family members and his friends were like at the reservation, and living in poverty and things like that. But then how he started, once he got out of college, he kept like missing that lifestyle, and so he went back and was trying to help his community. But so he has a personal investment in talking about this. But so the book talks about, each chapter goes from basically the beginning of Native American history all the way to the present day. And each chapter, around the beginning part, he talks about something that's relevant to his life now or someone in his family. And so yeah, but overall, this book was fantastic. I mean, you learn a lot about not just the history, but what's going on today. That I feel like I've read a couple books on Native Americans, but I've only read one that's talking about recent days. And again, I should have prepared better. Same with the other the Chernobyl book, but I can't remember at all what it's called. I will leave a link in the description below to both of those books I'm thinking of, the Chernobyl book and the the reservation book that I cannot remember. But yes, so I think this was a really well written book on just the whole history of Native Americans, and it can be heartbreaking at times, and but I feel like even how he presents it, because he talks about how Wounded Knee, like how it was just devastating, and how like classes nowadays in college and in high schools, how they're just presented as like these, it's like they don't have a future, but he's constantly giving you hope of the future, and how they are reviving themselves, and how there's more people identifying and listed as Native Americans as ever there was before. And so yeah, this was a very, very good book. And then my number one pick is The Uninhabitable Earth, Life After Warming by David Wallace Wells. And silly me, let me turn it down so you can see. I didn't do it's still really bad because it's a white cover, so it's really hard to pick up on the stuff. Here, maybe a little bit better. Okay, kind of, sort of, you can see that. You can see me too. Okay, there we go. Silly me, I didn't do a my best nonfiction for 2019, but this was my favorite book, nonfiction book of 2019. It was just a fantastic book on just the urgency of the need to do something with climate change, and he's just like constantly, like, it's like I feel like he's yelling at me, yelling at all of us to do something. And so yeah, just the tone of this book was just riveting. And yeah, so if you want to read about climate change, I mean, this book comes with, I mean, I've read probably, I don't know, like 30, 40 books on climate change, and this was for sure is like my number one pick of all the ones that I've read. And so yeah, like going in, I had a really strong feeling this would be my number one compared to all the other ones. But yeah, I think it's just because like the topic, because each of these discuss such a a different topic. It's like I was saying, like literary fiction is like, I don't know, it's hard for me to rank these books. But yes, and so yeah, these are my rankings for the top for the 6 books, and I wasn't sure going in what to waiting to hear the results that Robert announced this week. I wasn't sure like if my rankings matched up, but funny enough, the 3 books that I chose in my top 3 are the ones that are making it into round 2. And so yeah, I guess I wasn't as unpopular opinion as I thought it would, because I thought for sure like Chernobyl would have gotten into it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the other people in my group what they thought of these books. And so yeah, and so for round 2, I'm going to be judging a fiction round, a fiction group A. And so yeah, I can only hope that those books will be as good as these. Yeah, because like these are just fantastic books, and I'm very happy to have participated in the Booktube Prize judging, because I had gone to the Booktube Prize meetup in October, which was hosted in my new city here in Raleigh-Durham, but I hadn't judged anything, and so I just happened to be in the city. So yeah, let me go and check this out. So yes, let me know if you've read any of these books, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Booktube.